Hey guys, in case you're new here, my name is Borongera. I talk about mental health, love, Atila, mental health, lifestyle, and disability most of the time. So in this video, we're going to talk about how crazy perspective is. And I saw this video. I went to on TikTok. This is where I got my inspiration from. First of all, if you've not subscribed, what are you waiting for? If you've not liked this video, if you've not shared, if you've not joined the community, what do you mean? What are you waiting for? So, the video says, watch how crazy perspective is. I'm 25, I'm single, I live at home. I've spent the last year trying to figure out stuff, but nothing has stuck. All my age mates are moving out, getting engaged, and I am not. Sometimes life feels the same, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Or, hi, oh my goodness, I just turned 25. I live at home, surrounded by the people that I love the most. This amazing community that supports me. I have spent the last year trying out new things, and I'm so excited that I got to try new things. I have not yet found my person because I'm busy exploring and finding myself. Oh my goodness, let me not start there. Eish! And I hope that when it comes, you'll find me at my best version yet. I get to read new books and find podcasts like Love and Orgasms and Best Kept Secret podcast. And every time, and life is generally amazing. So, first of all, the reason why I started this video was to show that sometimes in people get this idea that if you're on social media you've made it. People get this idea that if you are above 25 you've made it. Whichever, like people just think people who are making it in social media might be making it in real life. I'm here to correct you all by saying that it's not entirely false or true. It's just how your perspective is. Oh my goodness, how your perspective is. We've seen two sides of this thing, so it depends on how someone is going to post it. Okay, so to get into today's video by saying a little things, 25 things from a 25-year-old. God. So these are the things that I have learned over the years, and I wished someone had told me when I was like, let's say 22 or even 18. But this is something I would tell my 18-year-old self. So if these are the things you would tell your 18-year-old self, please comment down below things that I might have forgotten, and let's change each other's perspective. Something I would tell my 18-year-old self, first of all, is love yourself first. I know it's like when I say love yourself first, it's like, kwani miss sijipendi. I usually mean usually how we allow others to treat us is the reflection of how we really feel about ourselves. So if you settle for less, that means that you don't believe that you can achieve more. You're getting my point. So love yourself first. Be the first cheerleader that you can ever get. Be the lulu enough to think you can get it. In self-love, I think there is this misconception, like in order for you to self-love yourself, you have to go to get the richest things, to buy the fanciest shoes, to buy all these like lavish life. But in self-love, I always say assess yourself and find what you love about yourself, and don't wait for anybody to come and tell you oh, I love this about yourself. About you, I'm gonna give an example by saying these examples are like things that have happened to me, experiences that have happened in my life. So kitambo, I didn't think that I was pretty enough. The lulu, I was not pretty enough. I thought that I was not pretty enough. And then my best friend, shout out to her, my very best friend, once told me that I have the most amazing eyes. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And then, so because that was the first real compliment she gave me, I was like, oh my goodness, that she might have said that because she's my best friend, but I held that dear to my heart. So few years later, back forward few years later, I met someone who said that, oh my goodness, you have very beautiful eyes. Then I was like, my best friend did tell me that. My best friend did tell me that. So, find what you love about yourself. So I would say something that I love about myself are my toenails. I love my toenails. So when someone tells me that, like, it's just like additional love, like I'm a sprinkle an additional compliment, that's something that I already know. So you see, so even in careers, you're told, like, in order for, when you're changing career, self-assess first, know the things that you love, know the things that you enjoy doing. So even as a person, in self-love, do those things. And then in self-love, I say that in order for you to self-love is you talk to yourself gently and forgive yourself for the mistakes that you did, because you didn't know any better. It's now that you are, in that journey. And then I always say that, if kama ingekuwa mtoto mdogo ungemwongelesha venye unajiongelesha sahi. So when you're being hard on yourself, remember that thing. So I wish someone had told me to be a little bit gentler to myself. Okay, another thing is surround yourself with people that are always positive. They say in actually it's in 48 laws of power. I don't remember the law. I don't remember the law. They say avoid someone who is full of misfortunes. So that quote that says at when you surround yourself with 5 millionaires, will be the sixth millionaire. It's the same thing. So it's when you surround yourself with people that are positive thinkers, you are likely more to be a positive thinker. I think most of the time we think that, oh, I'm not positive because of this, and it's because of the environment that you are in. Sometimes it doesn't even matter if you're going to prosper in life. It doesn't, with the right amount of money, with anything, as long as the environment is not set out right, you're not going to prosper. So surround yourself with good people and people who are very positive about life. People who will, ataona ukiamka, and then they'll be like, umeanguka ni sawa, simama tu, and you get si ati sasa nilikukataza. You get the point that I'm saying. Another thing I would say is choose friends for purposes. Oh my goodness. This is even a whole story. I would say my 18-year-old self, I wish you could hear this when I say choose friends for purposes. I think romantic relationships are, yani wamekewa hapa juu, and then we don't talk so much about platonic relationships. So we know how to choose romantic partners. We know how to circumnavigate in the romantic world, but we don't know how to navigate ourselves in the platonic relationship. So I would say choose friends with purposes. When we are always praying, when people are praying, they're like, oh, I want a man that is under what? God, when they're manifesting to God. And they also manifest friends for purposes. Like, I'll give an example and say I have different friends. So when I want a pep talk, I'll talk to this person. When I want someone who set me straight, I'll talk to this person. Like, they have a purpose. You see, we cannot, sometimes tunaweza kuwa tumejipata kwa mapenzi. So choose friends with purposes. I will say this again. Rafiki yako anafai kukuinua. Rafiki yako ni yule msee mwenye. You have to be intentional with your friendship. The same way you are intentional in your relationship is the same way you have to be intentional in your friendship. So if you are going to cheat your significant other, like, this is like nikama a romantic relationship but universally iko platonic. I always say yani friendship mi hata ndio naongeleanga sana, because I feel it's something ene watu hawaongelei sana. So choose your friends for purposes. The same way you're going to choose romantic partners, choose your friends the same way. Another thing is trust your instincts. I know this is like but I would say, as an 18-year-old, you have to trust your instincts. So the difference between instincts and just that little voice that is badgering in your head is like, I want to say the difference between, like, let's say God and the devil is like, God is calm. Unaona sasa hakuna makelele mingi there. So like that is going to be our instincts. And then the devil kuna mvurugano mingi, like you'll feel the anxiety and everything that will build up. So let's say if you are someone who does not like to party, I'm gonna give an example of partying because it's like a norm, If you're someone who does not like to party, and then your friends want to go and party, and then you feel like, siski, and then they're like, oh, Naja, you might be missing out, you are just young, jikalie. From this book that says The Art of Being Alone, it says that when you sit alone in silence, yani unatoa kelele yote niko nje when you listen to your own decision. Hizi zingine zote zinakuwa kelele. So like sit back and then ask yourself, is this something that I really want to do? So like even in the self-love aspect, you might some people can self-love in a way of going out and partying every time. That is not the norm. Everyone self-loves in a very different way. Everyone is so different, I'm gonna say that. So if like this is not something you enjoy doing, be like, I just don't want to do it, just trust yourself enough to know that your heart will always lead you the way, and for you to know that if this is you was trusting the instinct, ama this was you ulikuwa tu uko very afraid, is that the next day, if you're going out in partying the next day, are you regretting yesterday's decisions? If you are regretting yesterday's decisions, that means you're not trusting your instincts enough. If you are not, if like hakuna mvurugano, like unasikia, yes, I went out and partied, and then uko tu sawa, that's the instinct. That's the thing. That's what you should listen to all the time. I always say, like, we might be given a lot of advices. We might read a lot of self-help books out here. Kila pahali kuna advice. But when you sit down and just listen to your own voice, you are the only person who knows where you are headed. Something of that sort. Wewe na Mungu wako tu pekee ndio mnajua penye mnaenda. So if you involve God in your decisions and everything, he will guide you. He will take you the right way. So trust your instincts. Hata kama hutaki ku miss out. I see there are a lot of FOMOs. Like one thing I'll tell my 10-year-old self is, hata usiende yo out. Like relax, just relax. Just, because there was a lot of FOMO, the fear of missing out. Like, oh, sa nisipoenda, ama nisipofanya hivi, what are my friends going to? Na mabeshte wangu amesema ati ho, unajua, imagine you might be missing out, it might be a good thing. So that fear was what was like, oh, it might be something good, So just trust yourself. Oh my goodness. In case yani kama kuna kitu unaona unaweza kujasikiza ni hiyo. And another thing is, this is something that I learned juzi. If you want someone to see you as a friend, this I learned from How to Influence People and the Art of Persuasion. So I learned this. If you want someone to see you as a friend, always remember their name and repeat it like a statement. Don't go giving people nicknames. I don't know. People tend to feel very proud. Like I'm ukita Zipora Ongera. I'm like, you're just my friend. Don't give me any nickname. Just call me Zipora Ongera. Like, period. And then I feel so happy. So people just carry their names with ego. So in any way that you're going to introduce yourself, make sure umeshika jina wewe mse. Unaona sasa? This is something my younger self could have done, because I met a lot of people and I'm like, oh my goodness, I cannot remember their name. So something that works for me right now is that if I meet you today and I'm like, I want to remember your name, I write it down in a notebook, in notes, because I'm always holding my phone and write down and then see where I met them, so that in future, that is how you network. So I'm like, oh, this was your name, you introduce yourself like this. So they are like, you remember my second name? And I'm like, clever. This I also learned in a networking class. I also learned in a networking class that if you want someone I could remember kabisa, just remember the small details that people talk about. Another thing that I'll stand by is always smile. When talking to someone, always smile. I don't know. People just assume that I'm friendly. I don't know if I'm always friendly, but I always smile. Genuinely, I always smile, and I don't know. This I learned. If you are still on the learning process, always smile when talking to people, so you will come off as very friendly. But another thing is set clear boundaries. By setting boundaries, I mean, like, if you don't want to do this, even if these are your friends, don't do it, because these are not aligned with you. Even if and then I get, sometimes I was asking myself this question, sasa rafiki yangu ataona aje kama sitaki sijui kwenda naye out. I'm giving out as an example because it's like a norm thing. So rafiki yangu atafeel aje. So and then I learned, my cousin told me this, shout out to her, my emotional intelligent queen, shout out to her. So she said, if you are in a position to do it. If you are not, if these are genuinely your friends, they will understand. So kwanza, I will give an example of the money lending technique that we have. Ati beshtaka kwamba seme punch, unampatia alafu hakurudishi, because there is that norm. So my cousin told me, if you are in a position to help, just help. kama itakuuma sana ukipatiana hii 500, usisaidiane, una get sasa. So like set this boundaries zile za huyu anajua ni hivyo na hivyo, kama anataka kunisaidia atanisaidia, kama hataki kama hana hatanisaidia, you get. This is something I wish I had been told, because I feel like sometimes I went over and beyond for my friends, and then they didn't do the same for me, because I thought we're supposed to go over and beyond for our friends, you know. And then another thing I wish I had told my younger self is, oh my goodness, friends are like places meant to be enjoyed. Like, they're like seasons, you know. You can have seasonal friends and it's okay. You can have a fallout with your friend, nani sawa, hakuna shida, yo, nani sawa. Like, friends are seasonal, and you don't have to mix your friend groups. Like, let's say say I'm working, I met someone in the gym, mtu wa gym siwezi mix na mtu anipata church, unaget sasa. Keep friends at different levels. Like, si lazima wote waingiane, and it's okay because they met you at a very different level. Oh my goodness, I could go on and on and on, but the last thing is, don't depend on someone for your happiness. Whether friends wise or relationship wise, like, be happy first. In the self-loving aspect, be happy first, so that our marafiki yako kuja na the happiness and everything, it's just like a bonus, it's just like a sprinkle. Like, ni unajua ni kama roiko, because you cannot eat anything without salt. You cannot eat food without salt. Salt is the test, it's like the main spice. So like, marafiki yako anafai kuwa roiko. So with or without them, you can be happy with yourself. So be happy first, so that if in relationship wise, usidepend ati chali yangu amejam so mimi nafai kupanda jam, beshte yangu hataki hizo siwezi fanya hii. You're getting. So don't count on, because it's a lot. Yani wewe una depend on happiness yako, ati kama mimi nimejam sawa pia utajam. Manze, it's a lot of work. I'm gonna say that it's a lot of work. So I feel so excited doing this episode, but I'm gonna finish this by saying a famous quote by Will Smith. You don't set out a big wall. You don't say, I'm going to build the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that is ever built. You don't start there. You say, I'm going to lay this brick as perfectly as a brick can be laid. You do that every single day, and soon you have the biggest, baddest, greatest wall that you've ever built. So in whatever you do, in whatever you're learning every day, you expect you're going to be better, you know. So ni mdogo, baby steps, brick by brick, we're going to build a house. You know, brick by brick, we're gonna do it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time, bye.